Hello, hello, hello. You're tuning into another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Listen, today's topic, good guys finish last. I know. It's quite cliche to hear that, right? But I'm gonna tell you where I'm going with this, right? So I have a guy on Twitter. I'm calling him GS. Great dude. Garun. I don't want to mispronounce his name, but it's G-U-R-U-N, so I'm going to say Garun. And me and him are always talking back and forth on Twitter. And he sent me something from Michael Lombardi, right? And it's the game behind the game that Michael Lombardi talks about in his presser with Pat McAfee. Because when it's coming to Lamar Jackson, what I mean by good guys finish last, Lamar Jackson has been nothing but a good guy during this situation. He has put on a smile. He's went out there and played. He tried his best not to make it a distraction. He left he kept things secret, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a snippet from the Pat McAfee show with Michael Lombardi, and then after I play it, I'm going to go in on what I feel the real culprit and problem is behind this whole situation, at least in public perception. So here we go. Let's get started. And without further ado,
I think the other element we're missing here is they control the narrative, right? How does all these guys get stories? How do you think they get stories about what's happening in the league? They get planted. A lot of these stories are planted. We're planting a story so we could say something else. We saw that the Falcons planted a story. We're not interested. The Miami planted a story. Well, Lamar needs to plant some stories too, and it's hard to plant a story when you don't have somebody helping you plant. Agents are great at creating what we call non-elements, what we call a non-negotiable, something that's not really important that you make important. And I think he needs to have that. He needs to control the narrative a little bit from his side. We don't hear his side. We only hear the Ravens side, who are very good in the PR battle. They're very good at that. I mean, they handle that really well, and we're missing that element.
Hey, that's
tied together.
Hey, that's a big part of it, because you win the mob, you win Rome.
Hold on. Did you hear that real quick? If you win the mob, you win Rome. This is not a shot at Lamar. Make no mistake about it. This is a shot at the Baltimore Ravens. And the reason why I'm taking a shot at them is because a lot of people are not asking themselves this question. How are these stories being leaked? Who are the ones leaking this story? Every time it's looked absolutely deplorable for his public image, Lamar Jackson has went on social media to address it. The only time he didn't is when, we don't know, but when somebody from his camp called up Stephen A. Smith. But every other thing he addressed quite openly on social media. So I have a question for all of y'all. Who's been the one putting out these stories for the numbers? If it's not the Ravens, then who? You see, this is why I'm saying that good guys finish last, because what Lamar Jackson has been, he has been the model citizen. He has went out there. He has sacrificed for the team. He's bled for the team. He's sweat for the team. He went out there and got bulk. Oh, yeah, look at these muscles. Oh, watch me walk. Can't even turn around all the way. Pause. Those are traps. That's how big he got. Got huge. Swole. Right? That's what happened with him. He's done everything this team has asked. And what he also did was always have the team's image in mind. Are y'all not hearing me? He's always had the team's image in mind. That means he doesn't put them out there like he should have been doing, because he respects the organization. Because here's the thing. Business can get very dirty. Business can get very ugly. But if you really want to have a working relationship with somebody, there are certain places you don't take it, because you'll never be able to work properly with them again. How many times in a working environment that a lot of you guys have worked in these hard jobs, 8-hour days, 12-hour days, that you've had to work with people that you hate? that you can't stand. But you never take it a certain place, because if you take it there and if they take it there, then it's unworkable. You can't work. You can't even work with them now. The Ravens are approaching that point. And Lamar Jackson, I feel, needs to approach that point. I need him to charge up. Reason why is because, let me tell you this right now. Lamar has been more than a good soldier for this team. The PR battle that everyone's talking about, the team's image, all that stuff has always been kept in consideration from Lamar Jackson. He has leaked pretty much nothing. And I'm going to show you how bad this is. This is why even before, when the injury had happened to hit the PCL, right, I was saying the team could have quelled everything they wanted, right? If you know, like, look, Lamar Jackson's hurt. All the head coach had to do is come out. All Harbaugh had to come out and say is, our QB1 is hurt right now, and when he is healthy, he'll be out there. He wants to do nothing but be out there with his brothers and playing this game he loves so much. So I don't want anybody questioning what he's doing. It has nothing to do with the contract. He's hurt. End of discussion. Now, will not be answering any more questions regarding it. That's what a leader does. Did Harbaugh do that? Did he do that? No. He refused to do it. He even lied and said it's against the rules for him to do it.
Stop it. Get some help.
That don't sound fishy to y'all? Huh? And this is what I'm saying, the Ravens controlling the narrative. Because now what are you hearing out of the blue? After all this stuff came out, Lamar, right? What are you hearing? Oh, the Ravens might be going for D-Hop from the Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins might become a Raven. The Ravens are working so hard to better their receiving. Shut up. You know it's a lie. The Ravens don't spend big on wide receivers. They don't even spend big on wide receivers when they have a big ticket quarterback. You know what they said, a big ticket quarterback that they have yet to pay as a big ticket. They won't even get it when he's on his rookie deal. This is the Ravens controlling the narrative. You see what I did there? Because all they're doing is engaging public opinion. They're trying their best to win the public battle. So if and when, right, or like if and when Lamar Jackson leaves, they can always quell it and say, guys, we've worked so hard. We've worked so diligently. But Lamar, at the end of the day, was the problem, not us. We threw money at him, and he didn't want it. Because at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson is selfish. He doesn't understand what it takes to build a team. And at the end of the day, he just wasn't a Raven guy. What? That's what they're doing. And the worst part about it is, a lot of the Raven flock will be eating it up. Just eating it up, taking it all. You're seeing it now. They're eating it up. They have it there for themselves. Everything. Anything the team says right now. Listen, everything that refutes a report that the team has helped put out, they're like, no, Lamar's the problem. And then when you say, okay, fine. You're saying Lamar Jackson's the problem right now, right? Why did they sign him early? Oh, because now he's injury prone, so it was smart. You know how much money the Ravens would have saved if they would have signed him after his MVP season? You know, when he went 11-5 and then beat the team that beat him the year before in the playoffs?
Stop it. Get some help.
You don't see where I'm coming from with that? Wouldn't a smart franchise lock up your guy then? You want to tell you why they didn't? Huh? Do you want to know why they didn't? Because they didn't believe in him. They didn't look at him long term. They never invested in his arm, and they had no intention to. All they did was see him as his legs, and they honestly thought that all he could contribute is, as a quarterback, is athleticism. It's sickening. Get up. Stand up. Because at what point do we start having these questions? Everyone's like, oh, we might get DeAndre Hopkins. Name one time, just once, right, that we've been in the market for a wide receiver and we hit on that and we hit on it. Please, let me know. Huh? Everyone go, oh, Steve Smith. Steve Smith was on his last legs. Literally, his last legs. Anquan Bolden, we gave away for free after he won a Super Bowl. And that same year they gave away Torrey Smith. Jeez. This Raven team has yet to evolve, and they've been their own worst problem. It is what it is. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, but how do you know which enemy is it when yourself is the enemy? The Ravens' biggest enemy is themselves. They refuse to get out of the way of their own ego. They refuse to get out of the way of their own arrogance. And they refuse to get out of their own way of ignorance. You understand? That's the problem with the Ravens. Like I told everybody so many episodes before this, because we're approaching episode 200. Shout outs to that too. The team never invested and never knew what they really had in Lamar Jackson. Never. Lamar Jackson was supposed to be a bridge gap until they found another quarterback they liked. They thought he could sell some tickets. He'd be exciting. He'd be like Slash for what he used to be for the Steelers. Y'all remember that, right? It'd be a splash in the pan, lightning in a bottle. Because remember, they were underwater. They weren't making any money. They were operating in the red. And Bisciotti was not happy about that. Hence why Harbaugh's job was on the line, because Bisciotti was feeling it in his pockets. That's why. That's the only way you get a billionaire to change what they're doing, is if you make them feel it in their pockets. So he said, you know, I'm about to fire everybody. And I'm about to move on. And then here comes Super 8. And that's a pun too, because Super 8, the movie, was absolutely amazing. Here he comes, cape, mask, ready to put on a show. Gets the team to the playoffs, he loses. The next season becomes the first MVP of this franchise, right? I'm not counting the Baltimore Colts and stuff, right? Becomes the first MVP of this franchise. Leads the league in passing touchdowns, breaks the QB rushing record, which he could have rushed for 1,400 yards that season. Easily, I might add. The amount he sat out accumulation of 2.5 games, because he sat out third quarters, fourth quarters, and he didn't play the last game because Harbaugh didn't want to risk injury. How many games think about all the games where he threw for 5 touchdowns, and they took him out of the third quarter. He could have ended up with 7 touchdowns some of those games. Lamar Jackson is a once-in-a-generation type of player. The Ravens got this player not knowing what he could become, because gauging quarterbacks is the hardest thing in the NFL to do. If it was easy, there would be no perpetually bad teams, because eventually in the draft they would hit, right? How many top 10, top 20? Think about it. Where was Aaron Rodgers drafted? Where was Russell Wilson drafted? Where was Lamar Jackson drafted? Like, think about it. It's not easy. Tom Brady. It's not easy. Dak Prescott. It's not easy. Not every pick is going to be an Andrew Luck. Not every pick is going to be a Burrow. Not every pick might be a Josh Allen, because Josh Allen was picked pretty high. Not every pick is going to be those. If it was that, the Jets want to be the Jets, Miami want to be Miami, Panthers want to be the Panthers. Think about it. I'll keep saying this, and I do mean it. Good guys finish last. And the biggest problem with Lamar is that he's a good guy. He really is just a good guy. He's to himself. He'll be with his friends. He'll laugh a little bit. He's a young man just trying to have a little fun doing the sport that he loves. That's it. There's no frills. That's literally enough for him. He's like, yeah, that's what I want. I want to be a billionaire. I want to make generational wealth. But outside of that, he's no frills. He's just a guy that's a good guy that gets to live out his dream. And people say, he's undeserving of that. Which is the true indicator of selfishness. Because he's done everything that everyone has asked him to do while everybody was laughing in his face. See, that's the part that nobody brings up. Lamar Jackson has done everything he's done. Heisman. He almost won back-to-back Heisman. Passing touchdown leader. MVP. Playoff winner. He did all those things. He achieved all those things with not just a large part of the fan base laughing in his face, without a large part of the NFL circles laughing in his face, analysts laughing in his face, media laughing in his face. And he just went out there and performed. And he says, nobody cares. Work harder. So yeah. I want him to get what he deserves. Because the guy has been nothing but a class act. He's done nothing but be a great role model. And as of now, to me, he's the second best quarterback behind Patrick Mahomes. And he might be the best pure football player in the entire league. And that's not conjecture. That's fact. And that's another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Yes, sir. Man, thank y'all for watching. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with me, and you know I appreciate that. Please do remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. I love talking to you guys in the comment section. We have great conversation. Just please do remember, be cordial and be respectful to people that may disagree with you. And if you would like to help this platform grow to even greater heights, at the bottom of this screen, right over here, right there is a QR code right to a Cash App. And also in the description is the Cash App. The name of it, so you can make a donation, $The Wunderkind Show. So once again, it's The Wunderkind Show. This is your host, Nitro, signing off. And as always, you guys knows my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Yerp.